They're not just gonna let their eggs sit there on the sidewalk. Hank, you will spoil your appetite. You have a family that loves you?
What a bitch.
Hey everyone, please remember to hit the subscribe button. We're less than 900 subscribers away from 40,000. I am dying to talk about the Barney movie, and I can't wait for you all to see it. So make sure to hit the subscribe button, and let's delve right in. This video is brought to you by viewers like you. Thank you. Make sure to subscribe, and help get this video to 4,000 likes. Bobby Hill is cutting up in his home economics class, and the teacher is unamused by his underwater Iron Man impression. Miss Bittner tasks the students with cleaning the cheerleaders' uniforms.
I have soiled each of these cheerleader uniforms.
Gross. She spitefully smears cake frosting on Bobby's take-home test, right before the janitor sucks her finger clean. Damn it, Ernie, not while we're in public. Back at the Hill house, we see Peggy is preparing a Frito pie, aka diarrhea casserole. Hank is horrified to discover his son is taking home ec. He worries that if Bobby learns how to cook and clean for himself, he won't need a wife to do it for him. Which makes no sense since he's always scolding Bobby for not cleaning up after himself. Peggy assures him home ec won't turn Bobby into a weenie.
In prison movies, the toughest characters always work in the kitchen.
And that's the only time Peggy will be right about anything for the rest of the episode. Later that night, we see Peggy is bragging on herself, because if she didn't, she wouldn't have a single line in the whole show. Peggy claims she's the ideal woman as she juggles being a mother, a part-time teacher, and a full-time pain in the ass. She takes over Bobby's assignment and claims she can clean the uniform by soaking it in hot water and bleach. Guess the Hills don't believe in laundry detergent. She then leaves the wet clothes in the washing machine overnight. Damn it, Peggy, do you want mold? Cause that's how you get mold. Meanwhile, Dale is reminiscing over his high school glory days of scrubbing ball sweat out of jock straps. He bets Bill $1 million he can't toss a beer can into the cooler. He ends up winning the bet and stupidly tries to collect his $1 million. From Bill. The next morning, Bobby finds his homework is full of holes. He's ready to take the F when Spapeggios. It turns out Peggy accidentally ruined her husband's favorite pair of jeans. Hank says Thanksgiving is now ruined.
Now what am I gonna carve the turkey in? My underwear? Not with an electric knife, no sir.
Did anyone else just instinctively cross their legs? Instead of apologizing for the mistake that was 100% her fault, Peggy blows it off as a one-time slip-up on her otherwise spotless record. Speaking of which, Bobby turns in his uniform and begs Miss Bittner to help him fix his dad's pants.
He can't wear one of your clever jokes?
Geez, more like Miss Bitchner if you ask me. In the alley, we see Hank has resorted to wearing his church clothes. Damn, Hank, do you only have one pair of jeans? Wait a minute, I only have one pair of jeans. I've been wearing them for 2 months straight. What the hell is wrong with me? Dale once again demands his money from Bill, who foolishly writes him a check for $1 million. Dale goes to the bank to reenact his favorite scene from Blank Check.
I assume you know what to do with this.
Dale learns Bill only has $400 in his account, and takes him for everything he's worth. And while I could point out how insane it is that the bank teller gives him the money instead of voiding the obviously joke check, I'm more perturbed by the fact that a man with only $400 to his name can somehow afford a car and a whole damn house. Bobby surprises his father with a brand new handmade pair of jeans, and Peggy's first instinct is to question his craftsmanship.
My sewing machine? No, it can't make seams this straight.
Peggy, in the 13 years your show was on TV, I cannot recall a single episode where you sew a damn thing. Hank loves the jeans from Bobby. Turns out Peggy is so insecure that she starts to see her son as a threat to her womanhood. Later that day, Hank is still singing Bobby's praises, while Peggy is starting to wish her son never escaped out of his father's narrow urethra. Bobby is making a pot roast for home ec and uses a bottle of his parents' wedding wine as a marinade. Not gonna lie, I can actually understand why Peggy would be upset about that part. What I can't understand is why she then yells at him to get out of the kitchen and threatens him with food poisoning.
Because with pork, the slightest mistake could kill us all.
Peggy prepares her Tuesday night pork chops, which look like they've gone from well done to congratulations. Sounds like someone trying to saw through a leather belt. Bobby brings out his pot roast and his father starts to salivate out of every orifice. Hank says they should save the pork chops till tomorrow, so they can enjoy a meal his wife hasn't arbitrarily named after herself.
Wednesday is Spa Peggy and Meatballs Day.
Hank practically eats the whole roast by himself, while Peggy's pitiful pork chops go cold. Peggy goes crying to Nancy that Bobby is a better housewife than her. Nancy tries to help by giving her a homemaker's magazine, which is like giving running shoes to an amputee. Peggy tries to make a Thanksgiving center centerpiece out of dead weeds and sticks. Turns out she stole a flea-infested bird nest and left its eggs defenseless on the sidewalk, cause I guess she wants to be pecked to death in her sleep. She fails to impress Hank, but succeeds in giving herself mange. She goes to the salon to get deloused and vents to her hairdresser how her son has replaced her as the woman of the house. Ernst suggests Peggy should satisfy Hank in a way her son never can. Good thing the show doesn't take place in Alabama. Peggy decides to inflate her hair to match her ego. She throws herself at Hank, who throws her to the side in favor of Bobby's home cooking. Smart man. She tries to seduce him after dinner, only for him to get nauseous from all the chemicals in her hair. The fumes are so bad that he kicks her out of their room in the middle of the night. Maybe if we're lucky, he'll kick her out of the house for good. Peggy goes to sleep on the couch, only to find Bobby cleaning the living room. He says the room looks like it hasn't been cleaned in years, probably because Peggy hasn't cleaned it in years. Bobby lets her crash in his room, but not before Peggy blames him for her failed conquest.
Your father's feeling ill. I think it was something he ate.
Did he try eating that bush between your legs? Because I could see how that would make him sick. Hank wakes up and invites Bobby to spend the night in his bed. Maybe the show does take place in Alabama. The two stay up eating popcorn and watching TV, while Peggy sulks under Bobby's booger wall. Hank calls Ladybird to join them, while leaving his other bitch to sleep by herself. Meanwhile, Bill tries to buy ingredients for his Thanksgiving feast, only to find all his money is gone. He watches helplessly as the cashier takes back all his food. The next morning, Peggy finds the two sharing breakfast in her bed. Hank reveals the two stayed up all night bonding over their mutual hatred of Peggy's hair.
That Miss Piggy Balloon has the same hairdo as your mother.
Peggy is ready to burn Bobby's room to the ground, until she discovers he's been using her housemaking magazine the whole time. She rats him out to Hank, and tries to claim Bobby is turning into a self-reliant sissy.
If you ask me, Hank, that boy ain't right.
Turns out Hank likes the new self-reliant Bobby and asks him to cook the entire Thanksgiving dinner all by himself. The two boys head to the garage and make the grave mistake of leaving Peggy alone with the turkey. Peggy is so petty that she steals the turkey and runs away on Bobby's bike. She makes it halfway down the block before she eats shit and splatters the turkey all over the pavement. She bikes all the way to Ernst's apartment. How the hell does she know where he lives? Peggy assumes he is also alone on Thanksgiving with nobody to love, only to discover Ernst is just very, very European.
You have a family that loves you?
Peggy is so beaten down that her husband and son don't even realize she's missing until Ernst calls them. He chews out Hank for being a bad husband, even though Hank's not the one who stole a turkey and showed up on his doorstep uninvited. Instead of divorcing Peggy on the spot, Hank comes up with a plan to give his wife the best Thanksgiving she doesn't deserve. Peggy returns home without the bike she stole from her son. Guess he's stuck walking everywhere now. Hank reveals he cooked all of Peggy's favorite dishes to apologize for doing absolutely nothing wrong. Peggy still ruins things by whining how Hank doesn't even need her to make her signature dishes. Hank explains that he didn't marry Peggy to cook and clean for him, even though that's the exact opposite of what he said 20 minutes ago.
If Bobby learns to cook and clean for himself, what's his motivation to ever get married? I didn't marry you because I need someone to cook and clean for me.
So if that's not why you're together, then why did you marry her, Hank?
You know.
No, I don't know. Please enlighten me. Explain to me why you would marry a woman whose ego is so fragile that she feels the need to one-up her own child. The two hug and make up because the status quo is God, though I'm not sure what cruel God would put Peggy Hill on this earth. Meanwhile, Bobby has Thanksgiving dinner with Bill. The two split the wishbone for $1 million, and Bobby ends up inheriting Bill's debt to Dale.
You owe me $1 million! Correction. You owe me $1 million.
Damn it, Dale! Quit ruining Thanksgiving, I tell you what. Let's review. Peggy ruined her husband's jeans and then got mad at her son when he fixed her mistake. She got jealous of Bobby's ability to cook a meal that doesn't taste like burnt ass and talked down to him every chance she got. She convinced herself her husband would lose interest in her if she couldn't cook and clean for him, and tried to seduce him with the world's worst hairdo. She was so miserable that she decided to make her family equally miserable by stealing their turkey. And not only did she not apologize for ostracizing her son and ruining Thanksgiving dinner, but she was rewarded with her own Peggy pity party. Peggy Hill is a puta.
Wait! Is there a cartoon you want me to talk about? Patrons who join my $10 tier can pick which shows I cover on It's Just a Cartoon. There's a limited number of slots available, so sign up now.